Guys, welcome back. I hope you all are doing very well. First of all, I would like to thank you guys for 618 subscribers as the recording of this YouTube video. Thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. And remember that if you do enjoy the content, hit the sub button to help me reach that 1K goal. We are really steaming through this now. It's already getting like a actual good amount of traction, so that's awesome. Also, shout out to these 10 recent subscribers. Thank you very much for the support. I really appreciate it. Just a side note, once again, if that list is not updated, it is not my fault. I promise you, I check it every single time I do a video. It's just either YouTube didn't update it on their side, or the people that are subbing are hiding their subscriptions. So do not kill me if the list is not updated. I promise you, I'm trying to update it, but I can only update it once I get the data. So it is what it is. But yeah, so for today's video, we do have a Mag Prime build. Mag Prime is a frame. No, I'm kidding. Mag Prime is a frame that has been in the game since day one, or Mag rather. She has always been relatively good, but when you do play her, she might seem a little bit odd to you, and the way she works. Pretty much the end of be all of Mag is to do a gigantic AoE of armor strip, to magnetize all the enemies into one little area, and for you to do big funny damage numbers to everybody inside, and watch the explosion afterwards kill everybody else. That is the general gameplay loop of Mag. Now in this build we are going to be capitalizing on that a tad bit more by subsuming her third ability and putting on Wisp's Breach Surge. It sounded like I'd called a cat just then, but Breach Surge is essentially what it's going to do is tag enemies, and then when we do shoot them with a gun that does even bigger funny damage numbers than your normal guns, you will then of course let that damage tag over to the next enemy, and so on and so forth. She has a lot of crowd control, a lot of survivability because of overshields and a fourth ability, so she really overall does just everything well in the game. She definitely is one of the best Warframes in the game, and of course there's the whole thing of you can get Mag as Aoi, which is kind of cool. You know, I like Aoi as a character, but I don't have the skin for her. I bought this one a long time ago, the skin I have for her, and just kind of decided to stick to it because it really fits the aesthetic of what Mag is for me. But the proto frames are definitely very cool as well. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys with a tad bit more gameplay. We'll go over to the build segment after that, and then I'll just show a tiny bit of a demo in the simulacrum as well of Mag's abilities. Not too much of course, but just to show you guys exactly what you can expect from her. But yeah, onto the rest of the gameplay a little more, and then the build. Okay, so on to the build. For Mag Prime, we are running a two-former build as per usual. We are running Intensify to bump up her strength just a tad bit more because we are running maximum range with the Stretch, the Overextended, and the Auger Reach. Now for armor stripping, we have multiple things working here together. Corrosive Projection, Fracturing Crush, and her fourth ability, of course the augment is for her fourth ability, will allow you to nearly strip enemies' armor completely. When you do get maximum stacks of Molt Augmented, it should be completely stripped every single time. Then we run Primed Redirection for shield capacity along with Arcane Aegis for more tankiness. We don't run any of the damage reduction stuff like adaptation. We also don't run Rolling Guard on this build. Why? Because she can pretty much just keep her shields fully charged the whole time and overcharge a shield with shield, of course, makes sense, with her fourth ability. So it really does help with the survivability overall. Now just a quick thing to note on this. We did replace her third ability with Breach Surge. Why? Well, this Breach Surge actually works really well with Magnetize. Breach Surge basically is an ability that when you do cast it, it tags enemies. When you shoot them with a gun that does big funny numbers, it basically transfers over the damage to a next enemy, and so on and so forth. When you do magnetize enemies, everybody is in a tight little bubble, so you can see how things get really silly. Then after a little while, the bubble will explode, dealing gigantic AoE damage. So really it works well together. And of course with Crush, you will be able to get some really good crowd control and get your enemies into a state of weaken that pretty much almost no enemy can survive in this game. Now, if you do really want to, you could just, you know, not subsume the third ability and put it on her first ability and keep your third ability, which is polarize. But I personally just, you know, enjoy pull. It's nice. You can yoink some enemies from far and just magnetize them, kill them really, really quickly. So just remember that this is a build that's built around magnetize being your basically bread and butter for damage, and then crush is your survivability, and stripper when it comes to armor. Yeah, that is the build. So as I will demonstrate right now, you can see that magnetize is a very funny skill. The thing is, here with the pallets and stuff like that, it really doesn't register all that well, but it is a really strong skill to use. And if you do all your skills and debuff and blah blah blah, you do all the fancy stuff, you will see results such as this. That is the fourth ability being cast, breach, surge, and magnetize, of course, and everybody's just dead. It really is that simple. Yes, my strong prime is extremely strong, but that's besides the point. Mag makes any gun worth running, to be honest. She is really strong. I didn't even have my Nautilus out for that. So overall, I would say that Mag is definitely worth your time. If you are struggling to find a comfy frame to play, you can never ever go wrong with Mag. She is just good at everything in this game. There's not a mission that I would say, don't use her. Yes, there is better options in certain things, you know, like defense. Yeah, there's better options for defense. Yeah, there's better options for stuff like captures, you know. But once again, it is then a frame that is hyper built for that mode. You know, something like Titania with what's called Thermal Sunder is absolutely bonkers at clearing a low-level exterminate missions to open up relics. You know, it's hyper optimized for that one singular purpose. Where Mag is a jack of all trades and a near master of them all as well. Really a amazing frame, and definitely one I would recommend that you guys check out. She works with any weapon and any faction, any scenario pretty much. The only thing that I would say is you need to get used to the fact that you do pop bubbles everywhere. So when you do aim at an enemy, you're gonna be like, what the hell, why am I not hitting the enemy? But meantime your bullets are being zucked back to oblivion to your left because you're shooting through a bubble, you know. So it is a little bit tricky to get used to in terms of that, but other than that, really no issue there whatsoever. But yeah, I will thank you guys for watching. Thank you very much for all the support so far on these videos. I'm thinking about doing a most commented thing, like I do with the recent subscribers. Maybe a list of like 3 people who is the most active in terms of the comment section. I don't know if there's an option like that on YouTube where I can see who has the most comments on my videos, but if there is, I might do something like that just to incentivize people commenting a tad bit more, although I do get quite a few comments, more on my Bleach videos than my Warframe ones, but overall the engagement is incredible. Thank you all again once again, and I will see you all again in the next video. Have a great weekend and peace out.